First, from a lawyer's perspective, I will tie this up with what has been on the Standard newspaper today about the judiciary being under siege. If you look at the way our constitution is worded, and especially the sections that create our courts, an appeal against a decision of the court is there by right. In fact, it is not for the judge to decide whether you can get an opportunity to appeal or not. So the fact that Raphael Tuju had at first been denied appeal, you know, I have a right to appeal to any decision that I feel. It is not for you as a judge to tell me whether I can appeal or not. I have a right to appeal. It is there. It is provided for. So the fact that somebody within the judiciary, and it's not the whole judiciary that is corrupt, we are servants of that court, and I can tell you some judges are really good people. But the fact that some judge can pronounce themselves on Tuju's matter and say we are denying him an opportunity to appeal, it means that they don't want him to get justice. He should have been able to move that matter from the High Court to the Court of Appeal and all the way to the Supreme Court. So that is the first place it shows us that the state is meeting violence upon its own people. Secondly, this conversation is not about Raphael Tuju. This conversation is about predatory lending, which we must fight. I run a firm called Kilimani Mediation Center. And what we do is we help people resolve their disputes out of court. Every week, virtually every week, I'm dealing with a case of somebody who went and borrowed a loan against a logbook. And once they borrowed a loan against a logbook, anakuja, there's one particular case now that I'm not mentioning the companies. A person who borrowed 250,000 against a Toyota Alphard vehicle, which was valued at 1.6 million. He borrowed 250K. Within 1 year, he had paid 380,000. And then they came and repossessed the car on allegations that he owed 125,000. And it stayed with them for 21 days. Then they auctioned that car for 600,000. And then they came to this person and said, uko na deni yetu ya 250,000. And guess what? They even had the audacity to take him to the small claims court and say he owes them 250K. So he borrows 250. Okay. He pays 380. They auction his car, sell it for 600,000, and come back for 250,000. These things are happening to Kenyans every day. And I think if there's one thing we need to demonstrate and fight about is every Kenyan is against predatory lending. Raphael Tuju, and it's on court record, has offered to pay back these people the money. He's even borrowed money, and he's come and said, look here, we can give you your money plus interest. And then they refuse. If honestly you're a bank, you're a lending institution, why would I pay you back your loan and you refuse to get back your loan? So these are thieves pretending to be, it's a cabal of thieves. Most finally, the auctioneer's rules of 1997 are very clear. That an auctioneer can only come to your property between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And the procedure is that when
So this was against the law?
Of course. When I want to come to auction you, I have to come and do a proclamation. Just come and say, nimekuja kwako, nimepata jag, sufuria, mkebe, nini, do a proclamation and give you. And then I must give you 14 days, within which you are supposed to now come and pay or do something about it. If you don't, then the auctioneers move in. So there's no proclamation. And then they come at night. And then they come with Land Cruisers, police Land Cruisers. I remember Raphael Tuju asking them, if this is not politics, why are you speaking to your policemen in Kalenjin? It tells you, why would you only bring Kalenjin policemen to an auction process, and then they are speaking in Kalenjin, so that Raphael Tuju doesn't get to hear? And we feel this is wrong. And even if they were speaking Somali or Kikuyu, it is wrong for policemen to come to a place where they are coming to auction you, and all of them are speaking Kikuyu, all of them are speaking Masai, all of them speak Swahili, speak English, speak a language we understand, and then they are making phone calls. And up to now, if you go there this morning, those vehicles are still. Umeiona Mkenya amechotwa na hizo gari zote za polisi. Have you ever seen any such heavy deployment of policemen? And I tie that up as I finish with this guy called Irongo Nyakera. Irongo Nyakera, who is a gubernatorial candidate here in Nairobi, has an investment somewhere in Kisumu. Now, they send goons at 3 a.m. in the night. These goons attack the hotel. Luckily, now he's provided CCTV evidence and everything, his communication with the area OCS, and what happens. They come in the name of saying that he owes them money. That could be true or untrue. But who sends goons at 3 a.m.?
Okay.
No proclamation, nothing. Do you know they were even breaking into rooms and now stealing from people who are booked into hotel rooms? And then they destroyed the Toyota Prado. They did a lot of things. They broke television sets and they left. And the whole idea is to scare off an investor who has invested somewhere in Kisumu so that his property is taken away from him. Do you know, up to now, with CCTV cameras recordings, no single goon has been arrested. Up to now. This happened around Friday. Today we are on Monday.
What are we looking at?
We are looking at a state. We are
trajectory?
looking at a state that wants to destroy its own people. Even if, let's imagine that Tuju was indebted, okay, and he has said he was, and he was ready to pay. Let's imagine Irongo Nyakera is indebted. Do you know what responsible states do? They bail out companies. Here we have a state that is eating its own people, but abroad we have states that come and say, okay, Daimler is struggling, you know, Toyota is struggling, or whatever company. They literally invest money because they know that these people have created employment. Now we have a state that is not only killing its own people, it has gotten to a point it's killing their businesses and using police and goons to beat up its own investors. You know, it's one thing to beat demonstrators. They are done beating up demonstrators. Now they are beating up investors. Irongo Nyakera literally had to use his pistol to shoot in the air. And I wish he shot one of the goons, by the way, in self-defense in law. That would have passed. But he shot in the air because he's a caring human being. So what we are saying is, beyond killing our young people on the streets, now they are literally invading businesses and beating up investors and taking away from them and even using the police to scare investors.
Okay.
I have never seen such a state.